Hey guys, today's video is about absolute value, which is a type of function. I would love for you to make sure right now, pause this if you have not put this title into your table of contents, and come back. The definition for the absolute value is the distance that a number is from 0. And that's on the number line. I'm going to add that in there. On the number line. Okay, the distance a number is from 0 on the number line. And I want you guys to watch something with me because I think this dude does a really good job of explaining it. So sit back, relax, and let's watch this video.
Math shorts. Absolute value. The absolute value of a number is its distance from another number on a number line. Distance is a measurement that tells you how far you've gone from one point to another. The notation for absolute value is two straight lines, like this. The absolute value of 4 is 4, because 4 is 4 places from 0 on the number line. Negative 4 is also 4 places from 0 on the number line, so its absolute value is also 4. Absolute value is always a positive number because it's the distance from the other number, in this case 0, no matter the direction. Here's Lucy. She needs to walk to her tuba lesson, 3 blocks from the bus stop. After walking 2 blocks, she realizes she dropped her sheet music. She goes back 1 block, finds it, then continues to her lesson. One way to represent Lucy's journey is like this. By walking 2 blocks forward, 1 block back, and 2 blocks forward, Lucy ends up 3 blocks from the stop, yet she walked more than that. Absolute value shows us how much she actually walked. 2 blocks forward, plus 1 block back, plus 2 blocks forward, for a total of 5 blocks. Phew! Absolute value can help us calculate distance and solve math problems.
All right, thanks guys. I think he did a really good job of showing what that means, the distance from 0 on a number line. So you can draw your own number line here. And let's put 0 in the middle since that's the number we're trying to find the distance from. And if we look up, if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is positive 5. And we go back 1, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, so those two values, 5 and negative 5, are the same distance from 0. Okay, they're the same distance from 0. And I'm drawing it this way because this is what the graph of an absolute value looks like, is a V there. But negative 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks from 0, and positive 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks from 0 also. So 5 and negative 5 have the same absolute value. So the absolute value of negative 5 is positive 5, and the absolute value of positive 5 is also positive 5. 5 blocks either direction. And you think about it as if we're at school and some kids wanted Chipotle for lunch, they're going to walk east. But if some kids wanted Santiago's for lunch, they're going to walk west. But they're both going to walk positive blocks. Nobody gets to like walk, not walk. That doesn't really make any sense, but you know what I mean? Like, you're still walking a distance no matter which direction you're going. You still have to walk there. So let's go ahead and practice solving some equations that use, so let's practice solving absolute value equations. Okay, And I'm going to grab these right out of the book, which I sent an update to your Schoology. I sent a book update to your Schoology so that you can click on it. I'll take you to the online book if you would like to see this. So I'm on page 418, and I'm going to do the practice problems from example 1. Okay, and A says, solve this equation, the absolute value of positive 5 plus the absolute value of negative 5. Oops, should be a straight line there. Okay, how do I solve this? Well, I know that the absolute value of positive 5 is 5, and I know that the absolute value of negative 5 is also positive 5. So the answer to A is positive 10. Let's do another one. This is 2 times the absolute value of negative 17 plus 3. So first let's figure out what the absolute value of negative 17 is, and it's positive 17. So this is really 2 times positive 17, and I turned that absolute value sign into parentheses, which just means multiplication, plus 3. And this is going to take one more step here because I'm going to say 2 times 17 is 34. I'm doing my mental math pretty quickly, so please let me know if I mess up anywhere. 34 plus 3 is 37. Okay, so the answer there is going to be 37. C, negative is the absolute value of negative 4 divided by the absolute value of positive 4. Okay, so let's just change them. The absolute value of negative 4 is just 4. The absolute value of positive 4 is also 4. 4 divided by 4 is positive 1. D, the absolute value of negative 6 minus the absolute value of negative 6. So the absolute value of negative 6 minus the absolute value of negative 6 again. Okay, what does that equal? So let's turn these in. We have the absolute value of negative 6 is just 6. The absolute value of negative 6 over here is just 6. But that subtraction, sorry guys, I didn't realize my pen had gone wonky. That subtraction sign in between them is not in an absolute value sign or symbol, so that's going to stay subtraction. So actually, this question is just 6 minus 6, which is 0. That's a 0 over there. Okay. C, D, E. Ooh, the negative absolute value of positive 8. This is tricky. This means we have a negative times whatever is in the middle. Since that negative is not in the middle, the negative is going to stay there. So I'm just going to have negative, and the absolute value of positive 8 is 8. But actually, when the negative sign is outside the absolute value, it's going to stay there. So the negative absolute value of positive 8 is negative 8. That one's a little bit tricky. Last one in this section here. The absolute value of 0. Well, the easiest way that looks like laugh out loud. It's funny, guys. So it's funny because it matches the laugh out loud. The absolute value of 0, it helps to go back and think of the definition up at the top here, which is the distance a number from 0 on the number line. Well, how far away is 0 from 0 on the number line? And I hope that you're saying out loud to yourself that the distance would be 0, because that's the correct answer. You guys can keep going. I'm going to just quickly flip to a new page so we can start solving some more complicated ones. And let's just do some more practice problems here, okay? So I'm gonna switch to a new page. And these are a little bit more complicated. Oh, I hope you wrote down on the other one, standard deviation, which was under academic language. And what I would like you to do right now, and this is how I'll be able to tell if you are paying attention or if you're just writing down what I'm writing on the screen and not listening, is in your glossary, I want you to put standard deviation. So you can pause this. And in just a second, I'm going to give you the definition just orally, and I need you to write that down. So put standard deviation in your glossary, and the definition is the average distance of a set of points from the mean. The average distance of a set of points from the mean. And of course, mean is the average of a set of numbers that you find by adding all the numbers together and dividing by how many there are. You don't need to put the definition of mean in the glossary, but you can. You should know that by heart now. Okay, back to solving some problems. I'm going to solve the problems from example B, which is on page 420 of the book. So if you want to join me on the book, you can go back and open up that website and look at it. But for right now, A is going to be the absolute value of x plus 7 equals 12. Now, the reason this is a little bit more complicated is because we have to isolate x. So the ones we were just doing, all of the numbers were on the same side of the equal sign, so we just had to evaluate. But here we're going to have to do some more solving because we need to isolate x. So the first thing we're going to do, it's the same as solving for any equation, is subtract 7 from each side. So we have the...
Let's see.
Siri thinks I'm talking to her. I don't know what I said that sounded like Siri. So now we have the absolute value of x by itself is equal to 12 minus 7 is 5. Okay, so if the absolute value of x is 5, that means inside that absolute value sign, x could be either positive 5 or x could be negative 5. So this is one of those where we're going to have two answers for x, and I think we've done this a little bit with quadratics in 8th grade, but this is the first time we're touching on it now. Okay, let's try B. What is B? Okay, so it's the same, we're just adding something in here, and so instead of just x in the absolute value sign, we have x minus 2 all inside the absolute value symbol. Then we have the same question, actually. Plus 7 equals 12. So we're going to subtract 7 from each side. And we are going to do the same thing. So we have x minus 2 equals 5. Okay, now here is where it gets complicated, because at this point, in order to get rid of the negative 2, we cannot just add 2 to both sides because they're inside the absolute value symbol. So what we have to do is we have to break it into two separate equations. Okay? And because inside could be positive or negative, so x minus 2 could be 5, and x minus 2 could be negative 5. So here's what that's going to look like. The first equation is going to say, okay, x minus 2, whatever is inside that absolute value symbol could be positive 5. Or x minus 2 could be negative 5. So we need to solve both of these equations. So we're going to add 2. Okay, so X could be equal to positive 7. That is one answer. But over here, X could also be equal to negative, positive 5, and negative 5 here.